Testing, testing, testing. Good enough for government. We are hanging out. We're gonna do some Godot. What do you think about that idea, everybody? 4, 3, 3, and 8. How's the game dev coming along? Naturally Nemo. Let's test it out. How about that? Why not? Just reading an article as well, but we shall show you how it's coming. We have a system where we can add feature tags like join and server. We also have offline mode, WebRTC mode. We have multiple things that this project can do. So currently we have a server in the top left corner that tracks both players. And what's cool is I can ragdoll myself, and then I can pick. Oh no, I broke it. That's fine. Anyway, I can push him around. But this green player, he's gonna go pick up a rock, and he can throw it into that. You go give a mushroom to that guy, and so this is all. Oh, the mushroom hit perfect. So it's going pretty well in terms of the physics. We just shoved that guy through like the earth or something. Good test. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. What's next? What's next? Looks really great. Replication is hard. Yeah, I mean, game dev is hard on its own, right? But add multiplayer and replication, and then you're multiplying your issues, as I like to say. In fact, I think there's a small issue we need to take account of here. This has a pickup area. It's layer 4. Exists on layer 4. Ooh. Why is that false? Who did that? So now we should be able to throw our our friends. So I ragdoll there, and then we'll get the right one up. Okay, let me get out of the water. And now I'm bouncing around over there. Let's pick him up. Look at that. It's pretty cool. It's not perfect, but we can pick him up and toss him in the bin. See ya, buddy. Fuck. Let's dunk him. No, he bounced out. Okay, he's in quarantine. And then I can also do some mining. So just some tweening to kind of destroy the crystals, and then give him some crystals, because that's what he needs. Yeah, we should disable that when it's done producing. I actually like this thing where I can just release without throwing. It's kind of nice. So here we have a problem where that thing is still active, but yes, we want the small crystals. The water shader does look great. Let's go check it out. It's a nice shader. Wow, look at that shader. I did not make this. So the water shader is from GodotShaders.com. I can link you the exact one, I believe. Godot Shaders has a great set of shaders, and so I searched for popular. Every once in a while, I'll go through and look through popular, and this one had popped up fairly recently. I believe it's this one. Okay, yes, sir. Let's do that. So I've got a Firefox tab up over there, but so we're working on this cart. It's a little bit big right now. And here's what we need to do. We're going to remove the script. Also, like we actually sync a very minimal amount of stuff here. We sync just the rotation, just the player position rotation, and then a single bone. Even though it's hard to make, definitely think there's a huge demand for peer-to-peer games. Yesterday, my friends were wishing there was something other than Peak and Lethal Company to play. Well, I'm trying to make it. I was like in the position where I could have made Peak. Like after I saw Lethal Company, I was like, shit, I could build Lethal Company. It's true. One guy built it. I think it took him about 2 years in Unity. And I was like, shit, I could build Lethal Company. I didn't do anything. Then Peak came along. It's like, oh, I could build Peak. I'm like, oh God, I guess it's too late. But then I was like, it's never too late. I'm going to build one. So that's what I'm doing today. And here's the really cool thing about my system is that it's on the web. Right? Mine is mesh peer-to-peer. Like, not even Steam, you know? It's like peer-to-peer is like purest when there's nobody in between you. And Steam is in between you. And that's good, you know? And that's how it should be for a professional game, but my games are even more lightweight. For better or worse, they're just very lightweight for now. Everything's not lost. I got to use the missed opportunities. Yeah, I mean, at this point, though, you know, it's hard making games and it's hard doing this. And like, I've got a little bit of time to do it now, but I'm not going to have time come spring. I'm going to run out of time. I've got another laptop here. I'm working on work, wrapping up my day job. And I don't want to work on this, but I have 2 laptops, and I like the fun laptop, which is game dev. It's fun. It's hard to stay motivated. Yeah, a lot of my projects have just fallen. What's the hook of this game that you're planning? No punch through pain, especially so annoying how it's hard to make hosting with all that. Yeah, I'm actually like kind of an expert on punch through. So if you have questions about how peer-to-peer punch through works, especially in Godot, I am happy to answer them. The harder question to answer is what is the hook of this game that I'm planning? Fuck me, I don't know. You tell me. How about that? Yeah, you know, that's good enough for government. So the original hook was supposed to be mushrooms in a cavern pulling a cart, and your cart gets heavy, and you have to like defend it from critters. So the test map that I have is basically a cavern. If I zoom out, or we can speed up and follow, you know, this river. Eventually, the river dies. The map is so there would just be these segments you're like traversing through with the cart, and you have to get from point A to point B. I don't really know what the point of the game is right now. Is it combat focused? Probably. Is it like I just like Valheim, and Valheim has a cart in it that you pull around on these mountains, and it's like, you know, but that one you actually need to build like a road. I was thinking maybe I could have railroad building in this so that, you know, the cart it's heavy and moves best on rail. I don't know. It's kind of discouraging. Let's watch the fire. I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually, maybe. What are we gonna do? I really don't want to work. Oh, that's fire. Mushroom trees. Yeah. It's just free assets, but I'm going to hire an artist when I get further along in the gameplay. So the little creature that I want to have these creatures be mushrooms, and they're like going through this mushroom forest cavern, and yeah, I mean the hook is kind of like you can pick up your friends and toss them and explode them, kind of like bomb flowers in Zelda, maybe. And then your team, you need to plant your friends to respawn, like reinforcements in Helldivers. Damn, what are we doing? Are you gonna put it on Steam with multiplayer? Or did you find a way to get it without Steam API? I am a master of working this system without Steam API, but to sell it, It'll probably be on Steam, yeah. This project has um it's a little actually insane. I have in my network tab, there's the network join. So this is the main menu. It's got one button join. But in the network tab, I have um multiple peers. I have an eNet multiplayer peer, which does server host, server client. And then I also have a web RTC multiplayer peer. And this multiplayer peer is a mesh networked web compatible peer, right? So this one lets you go without. And so then what I'll do is when I publish, I'll probably, for the purposes of testing, this is good enough. And then I'll go Steam peer. And then I'll bring in that, not a stream peer. That's a good peer though. A Steam peer would be the extension, the Godot Steam. And then I just hook up all the same functions and boom, I'm done. But yeah, this lets me actually use any kind of peer. But punch through is the easiest to be a web multiplayer, web RTC, especially if you're playing. You can play um, a mesh networked, or you can even do create client, create server in a mesh network. And all my YouTube videos, my latest couple videos have some information on that and some ways you can use it. And yeah, you're viewing from YouTube, so you'll see those. Uh, but you know, just I was like, man, I don't want to pay for a server. I don't want to pay for Steam, $100. Apparently, you can use Steam without paying the $100. You can use the API, and you just use a pre-made game or something like Steam ID 446 or something. So it's free. I didn't know that. So I should actually do that and get the Steam. The problem with the Steam one is you have to use two computers to test, or you have to like have a Steam Deck hooked up all the time and then join that way, or it just seems inefficient to me. So I have all these tools that let me use these OS features. Not familiar with WebRTC. Do you have to pay for hosting? Tried making a multiplayer game a while back, but pay for IPv5 address over publicly host my friends. Yes, and yes, I understand that. That's why I made all this. Not being able to develop for free. Not that multiplayer is hard. And yeah, so without with WebRTC, you do not need a server. You could peer-to-peer, direct connect without any server, no fees. It's kind of what many of my videos are about. I also have on my .com a guide for hosting a dedicated server, and you can do that pretty cheap on like AWS, and the IP addresses are free-ish. And I think you can use an IPv4 in Amazon. I don't think I used a 6. But you do need to open up a couple ports. I have a guide on that on my .com. This goes over to the dedicated server. This ended up being like $5 a month, which wasn't that crazy. And then, yeah, all my my videos will kind of go over that. Like this one. And you can play this game for free. And you can use this lobby system I've created for free if you want. It's free. It's free real estate. The lobby system, though, is hosted somewhere, but the game is not. So it's fairly cheap. Command Shift C. I thought I had like hotkeys set up. I think, is it X? B? Oh well. Boom, boom. Do 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. Can I just add transform? It's good enough. Watching this one, yeah, currently got recommended on this stream. Procrastinating on school. Yeah, it's yeah, it's tough. School's tough. It's much easier to work on things you find interesting, eh? Yeah, game dev with Godot especially is very, very easy for beginners. I was a beginner just a couple years ago, 2 years ago. This is going to be a cart. I'm trying to think about what we want to do here in terms of making this thing usable. How do we want to move this thing? I'm being very slow and intentional. Yo foo, the low foo, yo. I'm being very intentional. We're gonna make a cart today. Our cart is currently a block. Interesting. So our WebRTC is not like a relay server. Universal plug and play was an alternative that I liked. I didn't know it had security drawbacks, but it's no longer supported. I've never gotten it to work since about 2 years ago. They just started cracking down on UPnP. So UPnP is no longer an option. So I cooked up this WebRTC thing. And WebRTC thing is much safer, much more anonymous. I do think there's a way to like extract people's IP, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're in a session, if you're in a game session with somebody, what can they do with your IP? Hopefully nothing. But the tunnel that it creates in terms of the WebRTC peer-to-peer is very safe, and people use it all the time for things like Zoom is built on WebRTC, Google Chat, or Google Meet. Anything that needs real-time video streaming, both ways, that sort of thing, that's a peer-to-peer direct connect. So Zoom does not pay for every fucking session call. They send it through the pipes. They send it through the WebRTC pipe. And audio, video, that sort of thing, but also games. That's why it's cool. But no, I don't think there's like a ton of security drawbacks. Just a little bit of work you got to do to get it to work. That's my impression, at least. I could be wrong. Save that. Next thing we want to do is we want to go back to our pickup area. This is currently not generic at all. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. This has to have a linear velocity. And now, one problem here is that I've specified that this needs to be a shape and a physics body hard-coded here. Okay. I think exports come above constant bar. See if it still works. 3 server join. It seems to be all right. Get out of here. Okay, so in this case, inactive. Oh yeah, bone.hitbone. Duh, that doesn't sound good. Say body. So is it an ISP protocol like UPnP? Yes, that's correct. It's an ISP, Internet Service Provider thing. You do not need any third parties. Yeah, security shouldn't be an issue. I think it's not that much of an issue. They do not have the ability to fuck you over, I think, but it's possible that there could be nefarious purposes. I do not know enough. But yes, very similar to like UPnP. It is an ISP, a protocol. It goes through once the handshake is complete and the two peers have agreed to form a connection by exchanging an offer, an answer, and then a candidate connection. They confirm all three of those. They are then established. They have an open pipe, and the stun server is a server that will handle creating those. If Zoom trollers haven't cracked it, it's probably not possible. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't rule anything out, right? They did have to patch some Zoom stuff, but that's more like people getting into the lobby before all the peer to peer is established. But once you have that pipe, that connection between those two peers, like you're gonna be pretty safe. Oh shit. Let's do body. Okay. Can I be more generic in my specification of this? Let's see. Type systems have never really clicked with me very well. I think it's a very much a higher level reasoning type thing. It's one of my, I would say, weaker points. The fuck is this guy? He's in through the ground. We gotta fix the ground. The falling to the ground bugs, because when velocities get too high, you get an issue where collisions can't accurately be detected. It doesn't matter if you're multiplayer or not, but so yeah, we guess that never got set. But I think we're okay in terms of being able to pick up, which is a great sign. So body is now going to be there. I'm going to throw an error if error. Can you just throw an error? Oh, push error. Seems fine. I do like this assert idea. I hear that the C++ folks do a lot of assert. But yeah, WebRTC is a great technology. It's just a little bit of upfront work. It's not straightforward. Luckily, yours truly spent 6 months fucking figuring it out. So parent body. Are you using Jolt? Have you so people say it's better for tunneling. And is tunneling a technical term for collisions not being detected? I am using Jolt. I love Jolt. I think it's great. Is that the technical term for when I step on something and it goes right through the world? It's very, because that would be, I think it's just a me thing of, there. Is that tunneling right there? Because I have rocks falling into infinity right now. I was just gonna like bounce them back to the surface if they fall through, like hit an area. But yeah, Jolt is much better than the default engine. We're on Jolt. I really just think it's like my fault, but penetration slop. Interesting. I didn't know we had slop. I'm just kidding. All right, I have to take a quick break, but thanks for hanging out. I will be back in about 15 minutes. Let's change that text. Fuck, how do I change this text? Uh, food, 15 min. Thank you. See you soon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. I might be on later though. I gotta just, be gone longer. Bye bye.